From your experience, what are some of the most pressing challenges that healthcare organizations are facing when there is a leadership transition at the C-suite level?
I'll jump in here and happy Hospitals Week to those that are celebrating this week as well. I know many of our HR folks are all over the place this week, enjoying the helping our folks and celebrating. When it comes from a challenges perspective, Erica, healthcare leadership teams are under immense pressure balancing organizational continuity and cost containment, when these situations arise. And when they do arise, the first priority really is to do a quick assessment of the situation to determine what are the needs of the organization, what is the organization that this person is potentially vacating, what's the current state of it, and to really make an assessment of what's needed immediately as well as what's needed in the future. In addition, you also think about things like, is the team aligned? Are there internal candidates potentially ready to step up to be able to take on this role, or do they need sort of development? And we've seen, in my experience, utilizing interim leadership has really elevated a team in a very short period of time. One of the other elements that we look at are the financial constraints. When you bring in somebody for a short period of time, there obviously are financial considerations along with this. And so what are those financial considerations in considering whether you bring in somebody on an interim basis, whether you split the responsibilities, whether you promote from within, or whether you, like I said, you engage this interim leadership, but really being very thoughtful and strategic about how you go about filling this position. But honestly, utilizing interim leaders, and we've utilized them here in my organization, and to very great ability, they really have done a fabulous job when we've asked them to come in and to help our organization in different situations.
And if I could jump in and piggyback, one of the other key aspects when you have leadership transition is evaluating the cost of delay. So you have a transition period with an executive that's, winding down their time. And then also the period in which finding either an internal or an external candidate who is then ramped up. So I would invite organizations to consider the value of interim executives as coming in and helping to close that gap of any cost of delay. Interim executive leadership can come in and be just in time, keep key, transformative, and other initiatives running, while the organization can then have the time to fully vet and assess the appropriate long-term candidate for the role.
Maybe to build on that just a little bit, Sam, to your point, there is not only just cost of delay, but I think in today's environment, thinking of some specific examples recently, the importance, right, of evaluating succession planning, right? So specifically from the clinical lens, I can think of two most recent examples where, we have either really incredible clinicians, both from a provider landscape of a physician and or nurses, right? But we haven't built a bench, right? So not only an evaluation to say, how to make that decision immediately, but then also from a lens, can we build on that, right, within leaders to make sure that we build planning to actually have succession planning that goes on concurrently during those decisions. And going back maybe to that talent gap and talent pipeline, making sure we're addressing and helping to build there as well.
Not an uncommon situation. It's actually becoming more prevalent in recent times. But when our interim leaders, our clients are looking at our interim leaders, often I'm hearing about projects or initiatives that are pushed past this year, maybe even 27, that I hear leadership teams discussing, well, if we could get this interim leader to come in here for X amount of time, we could pull something out of Q4 26 plan into this second half of 25. And what would that do for us? And our marketplaces have never been more competitive for our clients. And every bit of that kind of help really changes their game.
Agreed. The speed of transformation is accelerating rapidly, as exemplified by our use of technology, including AI, as River mentioned earlier. And you really can't afford to spend 6 months or longer in a state of evaluation or pause for that transition.